Hey lovers, and welcome back to my channel. And in today's video I'm going to share with you guys how to make this shoulder dart bustier. This is super easy to make and it's a beginner friendly, and if that sounds interesting to you, please kindly watch this video till the end. Thank you. So guys, I have my pattern paper here and I'm going to start from the beginning. From the shoulder area, I'm going to mark my bust point, which is 11 inches. I'm going to indicate that, and I will go ahead to my under bust, which is 14 inches, and I will go ahead and mark my 14 inches. And then for the half length I'm working with is 17, and I'm going to add 2 inches extra to my 17 inches. That will make it 19 inches plus my seam allowance, and I'm going to rule out all my lines, okay? So guys, I'm done ruling out my lines, and what I will do next is to label out my lines, which are bust points, my under bust, my half length, and my allowance. So the next thing I will do is to mark out my shoulder. The shoulder I'm working with is 16 inches, and that divided by 2 is 8 inches on fold, and I will go ahead and mark that, but I will not mark it down. I will just use a point to indicate the 8 inches and leave it for now, okay? Then I'm going to mark out my neckline, and that will be 3 by 3 for my neck width and 3 inches also for my neck depth. And after that, I'm going to connect that. That will be only for my back neckline, okay? So what I'm going to do next is to measure out my nipple to nipple or my bust span measurement, and that's 8 inches, and that divided by 2 give me 4 inches on fold, okay? So I'm going to mark that 4 inches at the bust point, and I will mark 3.5 inches at the under bust, and I will mark 3.5 inches at the allowance as well. So you can see I measure 4 inches at the bust point and 3.5 inches at the under bust and the rest. It will help to give this dart a divine line or a divine shape, okay? So after that, I will go ahead and connect that together. So the next thing I'm going to do is to mark out my shoulder dart line. Remember, from the point we marked out our neckline, we will measure to the shoulder point, and we have 5 inches, and the midpoint of that 5 inches will give me 2.5. From that area I measure my neck width, okay? To the point of the shoulder is 5 inches, and the midpoint is 2.5 inches. You can see I indicated the midpoint, and I will connect my bust point to that midpoint. So guys, after that, I will go ahead and mark out my under bust dart. I want to use 2 inches for this bust curve, and then I will mark that 2 inches down to the allowance line. Then I will connect the bust point line like so. And after doing that, I'm going to take my curved ruler and connect from the point at my under bust to meet my bust point, okay? So I'm going to make a curve there like this to make my bust curve. Then for the shoulder dart itself, you can take out 2 inches or 2.5 inches from that line you marked your shoulder dart. You can use 2 inches or 2.5 inches, but I'm going to use 2.5 inches for my own dart intake. So I will connect from that line back to my bust point. Just watch how I'm placing my ruler, okay? So I'm just going to mark it out like so. So you can see that our shoulder dart is out, and the next thing we are going to do is to remark our shoulder measurement. Remember, our shoulder measurement is 8 inches, and I took out 2.5 for my dart. The initial measurement was 8 inches, and you add back the 2.5 inches that you took out for your dart, and you add it back to the measurement. That will give you 10.5 inches, okay? So you are going to replace that 2.5 inches you took out for the dart, and that will make it 10.5 inches. So that's 8 inches plus 2.5 inches, so that gives me 10.5 inches. So I will go ahead and note that down. Sorry about that. So after that, what I will do next is to mark out my chest line. My bust point is 11 inches, so 2 inches above the bust point is the chest line. So I will mark out 9 inches, and 9 inches will be my chest line. Then I will connect from the shoulder down to the chest line. So after doing that, I will take out 2 inches from the armhole line for my shoulder slope, and I will connect that to meet my neckline. So after doing that, I will find the midpoint from here to the chest line, and that's 4 inches. So that's actually 8 inches divided by 2 gives me 4 inches. Then from that point I just marked, I will come in by half an inch. This is basically for the front armhole. The front armhole is usually different from the back armhole, so I'm going to note that. So right now I will take my bust measurement divided by 4. So I'm going to note that down. So after taking my bust measurements, I'm going to use my curved ruler to curve out my armhole, okay? So after doing that, I will start by placing my body measurement to shape out my pattern. So right now I will take my bust measurement divided by 4 plus extra 1.5 inches for seam allowance. The bust measurement I'm working with is 44 divided by 4 plus extra 1.5 inches. So I'm going to mark that, and then at the half length, remember to replace that 2 inches you took out, and right now you divided your waist measurement by 4 plus extra 1.5 inches, okay? So after marking that, I will replace my that measurement and also add an extra 1.5 inches for it for my seam allowance, and that will be all. And after marking all that, I will go ahead to connect my dots, and this is what we have right here. So I will go ahead now and cut out my pattern. So you can as well shade out so you don't get confused when you are cutting. You can go ahead to shade the area that you will cut. Just go ahead and shade it, and when you are cutting out, you will know the areas to cut and where not to cut, okay? And remember, if you are cutting this on your fabric, remember to add half-inch allowance along the dart line, and that will serve as our seam allowance for the dart when joining, okay? So don't forget that. So after cutting, this is how our shoulder dart bustier is looking like, and it's really beautiful. So the next thing we do now is to draft out the back pattern, and I'm going to use a normal dart for the back pattern, okay? The back, this is our paper, and the back we have a normal dart, and remember this back we have a zipper allowance that is 2 inches or 1.5. You are free to determine how you want your zipper allowance to be, and then after that I will start marking out the zipper allowance, and after marking it out I will go ahead and connect it into a straight line. So you remember the back is different from the front. The front has bust points, under bust, but for the back you'll be using just your chest line, your half length, and your allowance, and that's all you will need for the back since we are using a normal dart for the back, okay? So we will mark out our chest line, and that's 9 inches. The half length I'm working with is still the same 17 inches plus extra 2 inches allowance, making that 19 inches for my seam allowance, okay? So after doing this, I will go ahead and connect all my lines together. So after doing that, what I will do next is to mark out my shoulder measurement, which is my normal 16 inches divided by 2, and that's 8 inches. And remember, every measurement you are taking for the back, we start from the zipper allowance, okay? So I will go ahead and connect that into a straight line to meet my chest line. So you are going to take the same 1 inch for the shoulder slope at the armhole line and connect to make the neckline. So after doing that, what I'm going to do next is to find the midpoint of my armhole. So it's still the same 4 inches. So that's 8 inches divided by 2. That gives me 4 inches. So after noting that down, so what I will do next is to take my curved ruler and connect my armhole like so. You remember the front armhole is different from the back armhole. So this is how I'm going to place my ruler to mark out the back armhole, okay? So after that, the next thing I will do is to label out my line, which is my chest line, my half length, my allowance, and also my zipper allowance. So after that, I will mark out my neckline, which is 3 inches for the neck width, and I'm going to be using 1.5 inches for my neck depth. You can decide to use 1 inch, that depends on what you want. And after that, I will use my curved ruler just to curve that out. So at the half length, that is where I will take my dart measurement from. My measurement will fall on the half length. So I will go in by 4 inches, and that's my bust span measurement. I'm going to note that. And on the side of that point I just marked, I will come in by 0.5 inches and also come out by 0.5 inches. And I'm going to connect that to meet my chest line, and I will stop 1 inch before the chest line. So just watch the way I'm doing it, okay? So after that, I will make sure the middle line connect with each other, okay? So after taking out my dart, this is what my back pattern is looking like, and you can see how beautiful this is looking. You can see I stopped 1 inch before I get to my chest line for the dart intake. So after that, I will start taking my body measurement. My bust measurement divided by 4 is 11 plus an extra 1.5 inches for my seam allowance. So I will go ahead to my waistline, and I'm going to divide my waist divided by 4, and I'm going to add my darts, and I will replace my darts there. So I'm going to replace my darts, and that's 1 inches plus an extra 1.5 inches allowance. So after that, I will go ahead and mark out my points, and that will be all for the back pattern. And if you are cutting the neckline, remember that the neck will be extended to the zipper allowance. So please don't forget that. So after that, I will go ahead and cut out my pattern. So after cutting, guys, this is what I have, and you can see how lovely this is looking. And please, when you are cutting out your pattern, please try and indicate your dart area, and that will be all for this tutorial. And I hope you find this tutorial helpful. And this is what the front and the back pattern is looking like, and you can go ahead to place this on your fabric and cut it out and sew. So thank you so much for watching up to this moment, guys. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please kindly hit on that subscribe button, like this video, comment, share, and I will see you in my next one. Mary June, love you all. Bye, guys.